Hey you, it's Jess here and welcome back to my channel and the first video properly for 2026, and we are setting up January in my reading journal. I'm also going to give you a little look over how my setup is looking. You can see my last video would have been my setup for this whole journal in case you want to see how I put all of this together, but I hadn't filled it out when I filmed that setup, so here you can see some of the pages have some things filled out. So I'm just doing a little flip through so you can see that, but also sort of, give a bit more space to this video. I went through my libraries and filled them all out, so yeah. I'm happy with how it came out and I'm looking forward to continuing on with the year. My bingo boards are still not finished because I'm waiting on stickers for that, but now we're going to get right into January after the pre-prepared end of the year pages. I'm going to use this New Year's Dream junk kit from Scribble Prints Co. Their shop will be listed down below, and I'm going to use this whole kit for I use it for this double spread as well as the next page, and then I'm going to be the second half of this January setup is also I'm going to include this art journal January prompt list that I'll show you soon, and I'm going to be doing 31 pages in this journal through this journaling art prompt. So this is not just a reading journal for me, I also include other things such as movies and TV and music and games. So I thought it'd be fun to also include this art journal January prompt list from Virgo Paper, which I will list as well down below. So I'm actually going to end up using this junk kit for 4 pages or 2 spreads overall. You won't get to see the 4th page. That will be in the video when I'm going to do a huge video probably in Feb of my art journal, the art journal prompts, because obviously it's going to take all of January. And I will probably just do selected filming from those and then show you a flip through, but I do end up finishing up the junk kit on the 4th page, so I get a good use out of it. I'm pretty happy with how the junk kit was used. This is my first time using one of them from SPC, so yeah, I really like how it came out in the end. And this was my New Year's art, which you can get on my clip art shop, the digital art versions. And I just did this New Year's art based on fairies, so New Year's Dream instead of Midsummer Night's Dream. But I'm going to first off do a full background. I really make use of these, end up making really good use of these papers. I really enjoy having just an A5 sticker sheet that I can just rip up or use as whole as backgrounds for stuff. So we're going to use this one whole, and then we're going to use the other one ripped up on the other page. On this one, I'm going to use the guest check sticker as sort of a list just to write my TBR in. Although we're going to have the book covers on the other side, I thought it was a nice way to just have, I thought it'd be nice to also include a list and not just book covers. And I have a little space where the guest check has space where I can tick it off, but I can also I decided to put in the format of the book, so audio, digital, physical. So I've also done that on that page as well. But because we're going to be doing some decoration here, just to letting you see me go through the process, I'm just going to talk about the books I'm hoping to read in January as part of my January TBR. I have actually finished one of the books already. I'm doing this voiceover on the 4th of January, so the day before this video goes up. But I did plan this out before. I think when did I film this? I think at the end of December or around New Year's. So I've already finished one of the books because it was a smaller, shorter book. It only took 2 nights. And that was The Woman Who Rides Like a Man by Tamara Pierce. That's the 3rd book in the Lioness quadrilogy, the Ilana books. So I have one more book to reread of that. I read these books back when I was I think I was maybe 9 or 10. And they were my first foray into reading on my own account of reading fantasy. Before I had read Narnia, but my parents had bought that for me. And yeah, I just got I found these books myself on the library bookshelf in my primary school library. So yeah, these were like my first real books that I just loved and adored. And Illumicrate did special editions for them last year, so I bought the special editions, and that's what I've been rereading. So I haven't reread these books for like 20 years, so it's been fun to reread them. You know, they were written in the 80s, so they are a bit dated, but I still enjoy them for what they are. So I finished The Woman Who Rides Like a Man, and I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. Obviously, part of that is nostalgia and also understanding the historical context of its written. Tamara Pierce has written about how she would change a lot of things nowadays, because this book was published in 1986, so definitely a lot has changed since then, but I am still really enjoying going back and enjoying these books that I really loved as a kid. So that was a physical book, and then I also have a digital book on my Kindle, The City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I actually read, this is the first book in the Tyrant Philosopher series, and I actually read book 2.5, a novella, last year because it was my very first arc. And I didn't realize it was actually in the middle of this series when I requested the arc. But you don't have to have read the series to enjoy the book, the novella. In fact, I kind of recommend the novella first because it's a novella, it really like ties you into the world, you know, whereas the actual series itself, it's an epic fantasy, so it's much, much bigger and obviously has a lot more to go through. So I felt like the novella was actually a good intro to the world itself. It is a bureaucratic fantasy based off an empire that is basically just they're wanting to perfect the world, so they occupy other lands and they perfect it, and they also want to get rid of all the religion and magic in the world, basically. So I've been finding it really, really interesting. I just really loved the novella. I gave it 5 stars. So I'm starting the first book finally, and I've started it last night actually, and I've already read 16%. I'm obsessed. I just love the way it's written and the world. It's fascinating. So that's the next book. That's in digital. And then I have 2 audiobooks. I started this one like in November last year, The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. But I just didn't end up reading in November or December. I just kind of took a break because I had read like 68, 67 books in the year, way over my 50 book goal. So I decided I'm happy to take a break, and I watched a lot of streams and things instead. So I decided to take that book off my currently reading, and I'm restarting it as an audiobook. So that's my planned audiobook. It is a sci-fi kind of fantasy. I've read Simon Jimenez's other book, The Water Cuts Through Spear, which was a really, really cool fantasy, which I highly recommend. So I'm looking forward to getting back into this book. I'd only just started it, so I'm just going to restart it and listen to it properly. Now that I'm back into my reading era. I just really needed to rest my brain for a bit, you know. And then my other audiobook that I put here is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Finally, this has been on my list for a while. I've read all the Cosmere stuff for Sando, except for Elantris, and then obviously he's got more stuff coming out as always. But Skyward is on my list for 20 books in 2026, so I finally just want to listen to the first audiobook and see how I like it, if I want to continue on with the series. And I feel like it should be a pretty easy audiobook because it is more of a YA book. And this is his sci-fi stuff instead of his fantasy, which I haven't really read any of his sci-fi, so there's sci-fi built into it in the Cosmere, but But yeah, so I'm looking forward to finally taking that off my list and seeing if I want to continue on with the series. But it is an audiobook that we have, so I want to get through The Vanished Birds first, but I also wanted to give myself a second audiobook to start in my TBR. Whether I do that or not, remains to be seen. So here I'm just checking my swatches page at the back to check which marker I want to use. I always use Tombow markers. I bought a couple of new ones during Black Friday sales. So I got them 20% off. So this is a newer one that I recently got, which is like just another purple because I love all the purples. But I thought this one matched better than my older purple colors. I feel like the only thing about Tombow markers is that it doesn't really have a good range of blue. It's missing a lot of blue shades in my opinion. I feel like blue is one of those colors that there's just so many shades. It's hard to do, but oh well. You take what you can get, I guess. But yeah, here I am putting in my sticker, my book covers. I just make these in a Word document and print them off. I think I make them, I think these ones are 4 centimeters tall by 2.5 centimeters wide. And I use the, I think they're version 3 star stickers, star rating stickers from SBC. They fit fairly well for me. So I bought a bunch of pages in one of my last orders to go with those. But yeah, so I like to print everything off on removable matte sticker paper. So they're so easy to move. That's what everything from SBC is also printed on. So you can pick things up and move them around even months later, I found. So yeah, if I don't really get to one of these books, I can actually just pick up the cover and the star rating sticker and move it to the next month, which I find useful. I just like having that peace of mind. And it's nice to be able to just rearrange things if I want to. But yeah, we're just going to finish up here with the January page. It's very, very simple. I'm not going to be doing like written reviews this year, just because like I really struggled to keep up with even just doing one book a month last year. My just writing in the journal is just not something I really enjoy. I do have issues with my hand, and just handwriting is just, it hurts my hand after like 20 minutes. So it's hard to do like a full review of a book. And I don't really struggle with remembering books. It's one of those things that I seem to be able to keep in my brain somehow. There's a lot of things I don't keep, but I'm able to keep books pretty well in my brain. So I don't usually need a review kept for me, for my own mind or my own thoughts. I tend to think back on books a lot, actually, depending on the book. But yeah, so those are my current TBR. We'll see how it goes. I find actually I read my digital books pretty quickly. So I have left room to add more books, book covers and things. I definitely want to get into my 20 books in 2026, which includes another Adrian Tchaikovsky, Children of Time. And I'm almost thinking maybe I would read Children of Time next when I finished City of Lost Chances. Because City of Lost Chances is the only book I own in that series so far. So I don't know if I want to buy any new books for this month. So I'm going to try and just read what's in my collection. But yeah. I'm already really enjoying the first 16% of the City of Lost Chances. It does something for me, the way he's written this. But I think I'll probably read Children of Time next. And that might possibly last me the rest of January. We will see. I tend to actually read pretty quickly when I'm reading on my Kindle at night. But I desperately needed to go back to that because watching streams, I'm just on my phone and I end up just scrolling Instagram and stuff, and then I'm awake till 2 a.m. And now that I'm back reading my books before sleep, I end up going to actually sleep at like 11 p.m. and I don't scroll my phone at all, which is so much better. So it's definitely something I should be doing. I don't know, I just didn't really feel like in the last 2 months. But I'm glad to be back at it and already finished a book. So that was nice. So now we're going to quickly set up the prompt list here for the Art Journal January. These are a daily prompt list and from Virgo Paper, as I said. You can see the link here in the paper, but I will have it listed down below. And I think it's like you can kind of do any kind of journaling with it. It doesn't have to be art. And you could do writing. She has like sort of, she has the prompts, but then she has like explanations or suggestions for how to do the prompt underneath, which is really useful. And you will see that video later on. I have been having fun already doing it. It's the 4th, so I've done 3 days already. I have to do the 4th one later today. But so far I've actually been doing a lot of like mostly using stickers, to be honest, because I just really felt like playing with stickers, and I feel like this is the best journal to do that. Although the second day was self-portrait, and I did draw my self-portrait in that, and then I added a lot of stickers to it. I'm thinking I'll probably pull out some different pens and pencils and stuff in the future for the prompt list. So I'm really excited to play around with it. I've already marked off the 31 pages. It's a lot of pages in the journal, yes. But I was thinking like my last reading journal, I actually fit 2 whole years in it for my reading journal. And I included like whole game guides. I did written reviews. So I feel like I have space in the journal to have fun and explore. And I feel like January is a great time to do one of these sort of prompt lists and just like get the creative juices going, just have some fun every day. So yeah, that's why I've incorporated it into this journal. Obviously, it's not really about reading, but you know, your journal is what you make of it. I feel like I don't really want to have like a bajillion journals for all the different things. Like, yes, I have my Infinity Nikki journal, but that's because that game has a lot more going, like a lot more in-depth stuff and a lot more photos to do. But otherwise, I don't think I would want like a separate journal for art journaling or TV or movies or anything like that. It just, I wouldn't have time to space it up to like, and I feel like it'd just be a lot of journals. So I feel, and I don't really do any tracking for those other things. My reading journal, I like to have the trackers and the challenges at the start, and I have a lot of trackers for Infinity Nikki too. So I feel like that's what makes me want to separate my journals out. If I don't have trackers and challenges and things that I want to do, then I'm just going to include them in this journal as an everything journal, you know? It just makes sense to me, but the primary use is to have the reading journal tracking things in there and to have fun with my stickers and do TBRs and stuff and keep track of my reading. But otherwise, then it has just anything else I want to have fun in there. So that's kind of my feeling about my reading journal overall. I know a lot of people, they love to have a different journal for everything, and obviously more power to them. I find it too much to keep track of in the end. Like, I have a separate little journal for Magical Readathon, the Aurelium Gia Book Roast stuff, and I struggled to even keep up with that one, and that's barely updated. So I think I'm just gonna stick with my 2 main journals at this point, and just include a lot of the stuff in here that's not Infinity Nikki. Although I do include my soundtracks, like my music soundtracks from Infinity Nikki in this journal too. But yeah, so hopefully you'll stick around, subscribe to my channel if you want to see me work on this art journal January video. Later on, it's probably going to be a big video in Feb. I might even do it in 2 parts, I'm not sure. I filmed the first 3 days and we'll see how it goes, because you know, it could end up being really big. Like my self-portrait page took more than half an hour, so obviously everything's going to be edited down, but yeah, I'm really excited for it. I really love the pages that I've done so far. So much different stuff for me, and I was able to use up this entire junk kit from SPC, so I was really, really happy about that. And I'm looking forward to like going through all of my sticker collections and my art things to have fun and read all these great books that I'm finally getting back to. And I'm already loving just flipping through the pages of my whole journal here, because I'm loving every single one of them. So that is the finished 2 spreads. I just added a couple of bit more stickers here and there. And I'm looking forward to fixing up those bingo pages when I can. But otherwise, I'm just loving it. And I've already filled out some of the bits here after finishing that first book. So I'm just loving it. And I'm looking forward to doing more journaling videos this year. So I hope you stick around. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to comment. Maybe comment down below some butterflies or moons and stars. You know, the sort of the theme of the January spread, and let me know what you have on your January TBR. What are your reading goals for this year? I'd love to know. Oh yeah, I remembered I didn't have a goal here left, so I decided to put in the art journal January prompt to complete that here. But yeah, so I thought that was a good use of that. But otherwise, I'm working on 5 series. I'm doing my 20 books in 2026, reading my One Piece volumes, and completing my Goodreads goal, which this year is going to be 40 books. As I said, I did 50 books last year, and I did read like 67, but I'm just going to keep it simple this year and stick to 40. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this. And let me know down below with your little butterfly emojis and your moons and stars. And let me know your TBR for January. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.